everyone. Welcome to another episode on our Legal Bants where we share and discuss legal matters in an unserious manner. And today we have interesting topic which our amazing lawyers that are here with me will be discussing. But before we proceed, I would like you to share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you've not done that, turn on your notification button and subscribe to what we do here. Now, my name is Busaya Adetunji and I'll be your host on today's episode. And I have with me.
I'm Blessing.
I am Okwemi.
Okay, so Blessing and Okoyemi today would be, shedding more light on our interesting topic today. And we'll be talking about view. Yes, view. When people hear about view, they see it as something irrelevant or not important because of maybe they are still young or they think they are still living in a very good health, maybe based on the fact that they are not of age, they've not gotten to that old age, or say they are still living LD. They might think it is not actually time for them to put down their properties or whatever estates they have in a legal document, which is wrong. So here today, Blessing and Okwe would be shedding more light on this will, how important it is, how the advantages of it, and maybe it has disadvantages we don't know. So today we'll be discussing on. So Blessing, what do you think about will? What do you think in general is the importance of will?
Okay, generally speaking, for one, we will not know the importance of a thing until we know the purpose of it. And the purpose of a will is basically to help protect the people who you be leaving behind after your demise. Now, a will is a legal document where the specific wishes of the testator, that's his final wishes, are documented in. It has to contain the beneficiaries, the estates, everything, that the gifts. Sometimes you want to bequest a gift to somebody, and it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to put it down. So when all these are properly done, then you can say you have a will. But again, you have to do it in the right manner, because as at the time of the person's demise, yes, there's a will, or yes, there's a legal document, or there's a purported document that is presumed to be legal, but it may not necessarily be so. One, how it was made is very important to the law. Somebody can just sit knowing that they will be dying, or knowing that death is near, and they just quickly draft something. That's what we call the holographic will. Somebody can just tell somebody, promise somebody, when I'm diseased, or when I'm dead, or when I'm no more, you can have this house, or I will leave this house to you, or you can take this house and it becomes yours. But that's a non-cooperative or verbal will. There are various types of will. But for us to really understand its importance, we have to understand that a will must be written. It must be signed. And in the process of when the will is written, it must be written by a lawyer who is well versed and knowledgeable in the making or drafting of a will. That's to prepare the documents on its own. And it has to be that the lawyer prepares that document based on the information given to the lawyer by the testator. Now, I can call someone and say, please draft a will on my behalf, but I do not give accurate or complete information. I cannot bequest something to somebody when it is not even my own. I can have an idea that this thing belongs. Okay, perhaps I bought something with a friend. Now, I'm giving it to my child. No, that is not a complete information. It's not even possible for me to give that thing out like that until it is mine, because the law says you cannot give what you do not have, right? So now, it has to be well drafted by the lawyer with a complete and accurate information. Okay. And when this is done, the lawyer now makes sure that the person who he is making the will on behalf of, that's the testator. Now we call that person a testator in law. The testator signs the will, and the will must be signed in the presence of at least two witnesses. And let's to further understand, in fact, the testator has to be of a sound mind, because if he's insane as at the time of making that will, that is not a will. So it must be proven that as at the time he made the will, he's sane. He has those documents. It's not as if he was thinking to buy them. He had them, and then
Sound mind.
yes, he's of a sound mind, of legal age. Though there are exceptions sometimes where minors, that's people that are below the age of 18, because the legal age is 18, right? So now people below the age of 18 can make a will, and they can make a will in on special circumstances. Perhaps a person who is 17, maybe going on 18, and is part of an airline crew. That job on its own is hazardous. Even working as a member of a ship crew is hazardous. So the law makes concessions for them, or exceptions whereby these people can make wills. That's owing to the hazardous nature of their job. So now, a will is basically complete when all the processes all its requirements are met. And now, like we have said, it must be made by a lawyer, signed by the testator in the presence of two witnesses. And please note that the witnesses must not be a beneficiary.
Like beneficiary in what way? We need to
Okay, now when we
simplify
say
to our
okay,
audience.
yeah. So when we say beneficiary, it doesn't have to. If you know you're going to give a beneficiary, is someone who stands to benefit from the estates of or the properties of the testator.
Okay.
Now, if I'm going to give something to you, for example, you ought not to sign that. I know I want to give a house to you, or I know I want to give my car to you, but there's no other person around me to sign, and then I'm like, come sign. After all, you're part of this, you're going to be benefiting from this. No. And the people who are witnessing or witnesses, and who would also sign, they actually have to also be of a sound mind, and they ought not to be minors too.
While growing up and maybe watching a movie, for instance,
Yeah.
where they have extended family, so to say, we usually have the picture of everybody gathering while the man of the house, the husband, in his dying bed, or on his dying bed rather,
Yeah.
writes the will. So, Okwe, what do you think about that? Is it a must that everybody, like we have everybody there to witness this person putting down the will, or I can just be with my lawyer alone to just write this will? And is it even always important or necessary for me to have my lawyer with me while I'm drafting my will?
Yes. I'll start with the last question. As Blessing has said earlier, she said that for a will to be a will, like a valid document that is recognized under the law, it has to be drafted by a legal practitioner.
So I
That
cannot
is
just
versatile in that area.
yeah. So I can't just wake up one morning and say, let me pick a biro and a paper to
There are,
list.
this is we are Africans, right? I've heard of incidences when someone died and the person left properties behind. They didn't leave a will, and the family members are coming together. Why don't we just concoct something and write something on our own? Then we bring it out and say this was this person's will. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you are not in that. You are not in that place to write will on someone's behalf.
Okay.
And you're not in that place to say you want to write a will on your own. Do you understand? Because you need legal advice too before you can even say you want to sit down and put a will together. So that being said, a will in general is very, very important. Although in this part of the world we don't pay much importance
Attention
to
to
will.
it. Yeah.
Even when people are on their dying beds, they still just don't want to talk about it. And it's just like it's because I feel there's a part of us that gets opened when we have to talk about death, and people just don't want to be confronted with the subject of death. Do you understand? Because when you sit down and say you want to write a will, you have to start thinking about the fact that one day you won't be around these people, you won't be around. Do you understand? So it's a I don't know, it's a harsh reality, to be candid. That's quite understandable. But then, if you really know the kind of mess or the struggle that your family members can actually go through when you live and you don't have a will.
Yeah, and there are a lot of properties.
Yes. For example, now I'm working on a probate currently, and you know, the disease has been gone for a while, and there's a huge amount of money
And
in,
there was
in the
no
bank.
will
And
before he
there's no
left.
will, one. Two, now the bankers or the bank people, I don't know how to refer to them, they start taking this money for themselves. Do you understand? They start, and the family members have to go through the whole
Lot of
probate
stress.
hurdle to get the property for themselves. Not only is your property going to stand the risk of being taken away by the government, if you buy land somewhere and nobody knows, there are these community people that are just always going around pacing around. Once they see that this land, this apartment is just stagnant, nobody's coming, they claim it for themselves. Of what good, of what use will it be? Because even the Bible says that a good man leaves fortune for his children. Do you understand? It's not just nice to come to this world and work, and nobody knows that you are piling a huge amount of money somewhere. Let's be that when you are gone, people are blessing your soul. They are like, oh, thank God you left this for me. Do you understand? I am so excited. So, writing a will has a lot of importance. I know it's scary, no matter so far. Once you are 18 years of age and you have properties, you have a car,
Yeah.
you can write a will.
Once you're starting up your life
Yes.
and you know, oh
Nobody
yes,
is
you've acquired
saying-
a land,
Exactly.
you bought a car, things like that.
Nobody is saying you will die, right? But just think ahead. Anything can happen to anybody. Write a will. It's just as simple as that. And you can be asking yourself, okay, I am 21, I have a plot of land, I have a car. If I write a will, what will happen to when I now become 30 and I buy other properties? You can always amend your will. You can amend your will to fit. If you have a new family member, if you have if you got married, maybe you wrote your will when you were single, you can always make amendments. But it's just nice to protect your future and just write a will.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to actually ask a question concerning this amendment.
Okay.
So if, for instance, I'm 18 years of age and I've acquired a lot, and I involve my lawyer that, oh, I want to draft a will, or I want to pull down my properties in a will. What if in another, say, 5 years, 10 years later, I have acquired so lot of things as well? So I wanted to actually ask that question:
Yes.
that what do I do in that instance? Should I still, reach out to my lawyer? Oh, I want to do this. I have this. Please, I want to document it in a
Definitely.
legal document and all that
Yes.
stuff. So yes,
You have to reach out to your
it
lawyer.
is actually very important. Like I said earlier, in as much as we hear about will and we see it as irrelevant, so far you have started up your life, you're acquiring properties, you're acquiring things for yourself. Always let us try to put it down in a legal document, involve a lawyer. We can't do it ourselves. So if you say you want to just draft a will by yourself, I don't think that will fly.
Yes.
But when you have a lawyer that will do that for you in a legal way, and you signing it with witnesses, like Blessing has said, so you are ensuring that there are witnesses even on ground while you are drafting that will, so that it can be perfected in a legal manner. So yes, legal band is here to dish it to you in a simplified way. So we're talking about will, and we're letting you know that it is very important, it is necessary that you document your properties in a legal writing, in a legal document, with witnesses that will be signatory to it.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so even in all of this, we know that there are advantages to everything, and in every advantage there is a disadvantage. So we cannot say, oh yes, because I have properties, I want to put them down in a legal document, and I think that is all. That's just the final thing. Do you think there are like limitations or barriers or disadvantages to will?
Okay, personally speaking, and I'm going to be speaking from the point of the law. To a very large extent, there are no disadvantages to making a will, because when you acquire property, like Opa said, you've come to the world, you've worked, and truly, the Bible says, a man that leaves inheritance for his children is a good man. And now you have worked, but probably because you were, the truth is, nonchalance is the main reason why people would not answer the fear of death. You know, everybody, there's this adage, nobody wants to die, but we all want to go to heaven.
Yeah.
But the truth and the harsh reality of life is death is an inevitable part of life. It's part of nature. It's nature in itself.
Yeah, it happens to everyone.
It happens to everybody, but it just it's bad when it happens way before time. But again, a long life is not a promise. Nothing is promised us in this world. Why not prepare yourself before then? We are not saying because you're making a will, no, you are going to die. You know, there are people that make wills, they live another 50 years,
Yeah.
40 years, 30 years, and all that. So the importance of will, like we are saying, is you are protecting your interests. And when your demise, let me just try to couch it, and when you're deceased or after your demise, when you're no more here, or when you just take a brief journey out of this world, your children, you might have a wife, you might have a husband, and you want these people to be protected. You know, it's death on its own is hurtful. Like when you lose somebody, it's really painful. There's a chord in your heart. There's a part of your heart that would never heal. No matter how we try, it will not heal. So you want to protect them. You want to make sure that even the family, there are people that are married to more than one wife.
Yes.
That's a complex family dynamic. And these people want the family, okay, even a man said whose family was having issues or while he was alive, he has this perception that perhaps maybe when he's gone they will be united.
Yeah,
So
the
making a will would help foster, if not unity, at least peace to an extent, because since there are some families that they are different lawsuits. This one, I know somebody personally where the father is married to 4 wives or was married to 4 wives. They are all at the probate registry now. The estate on it, that's the mass properties. The probate has won that none of them should come anymore, because this wife's children will go, that one will go, that one will go. 4 people, 4 different family, and they want one thing. It's not possible. It's not done. So you'll be avoiding incessant lawsuits. You'll be protecting the rights of, when people die, family steps in. How about you making it possible that the people that you want to give things are the people that actually get it? Your brother might have not spoken to you for 20 years and he wants to take your property. It's not even bothered about. And it will also help you pick your executors, because in the will, contained in the will, are the executors. And you pick executors that you know, or that you have this trust enough in. Yeah. That they are
to handle your
properties and the sharing, because the fact that the person is dead, the properties does not just go direct to them. This executor is in charge of the estate, and he would know how to disseminate it, making sure that everybody gets everything like your final wishes has stated. And it will also, even funeral wishes can be contained, like in an instruction.
That is, I want my burial.
So that you will know easy. Some people even make funeral funds. Even the whole funeral process, they do it. When somebody dies, the person might not even want his body to stay more than 1 month. Everything is possible when you write a will. Another thing is when children, minors, family can come, take everything. We watch movies whereby you see they see the wife kill the husband, and they take everything. And you see those children start suffering. So you can avoid all these things. They are in fact, I would say there are no disadvantages to writing a will. But just make sure that you're writing a will and your executors, because these executors, they are very important in the will. They make sure that they are trustworthy people who are considerate of your family and the interest of your family. So there are lots of importance in making a will, and I do not see any disadvantages.
So, what do you have to say also?
Well, in finality, like based on everything that we've said, we are just imploring you to write a will today. I know it's scary, to be candid. Even if they ask me, oh yeah, welcome and write a will,
you start thinking,
am
I going to die anytime soon?
It's taking you to the core of your existence. So But if you look at the things that can actually possibly happen when you're gone, your children suffering, leaving a child, an infant, who's going to take care of that infant? A will can allow you to pick a guardian, say how you want to be buried. You can even give to charity, to the NGOs and all that. So it is so much of an advantage for you to write a will. That's all I have to say.
So I think we've come to the end of today's episode, but I just want to leave it to us all that will is important, like we have heard from Blessing and Okoyemi. And when we, put down properties, estates in a document, we're avoiding conflict. Say you have a father that married two, three wives with a lot of children that you don't, some of you don't even meet yourselves on a regular basis, and then this man goes, he dies, then all of you now say you want to come and inherit something that is not yours. To avoid such thing, to avoid conflicts, is very important for us to put them down in a document, in a legal document, sign it, and make sure that the executors, the lawyers, they do the needful while you are gone. So in a nutshell, will is important, and it is not something that you should take for granted. So while you are 18, while you have started acquiring a lot of things, let us make sure that we contact our legal counsel, our lawyer that we want to document our properties in writing. And I'll say thank you all for listening to us once again, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. See you.